GM, welcome back to another episode of Web3 Academy, the leading place for businesses, entrepreneurs, and creators to learn how to use Web3 tech to better your business, to improve business models, and to build thriving communities. It's the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you had a lovely New Year's, a great holiday with your friends and families and your loved one. And I hope you're as fired up as I am about 2023. We have got a very exciting year ahead of us. We got some really exciting things happening here at Web3 Academy. We can't wait to tell you about a little bit of alpha, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Today, we're going to be talking about mobile hardware and why mobile hardware is the key to Web3 adoption for the masses. This was one of the predictions that was made in our 2023 predictions list that was created by our team. You can go back and take a look at that, listen to that podcast if you want. It's about 5 or 6 episodes ago. But this is a prediction that I myself believe very strongly in, mainly because when we think about it, when we think about every major tech evolution of the internet that has happened, it's all connected to hardware of some sort. With Web 1, it was the explosion of the personal home computer, the desktop computer, which all of a sudden allowed millions of people to be online and to be accessing tech in a new way. And then we had Web 1, which was so available to all of us. For Web 2, it was the mobile phone. The mobile phone was the tipping point that allowed social to grow, that allowed apps to grow, and this new form of connection that we had never experienced before because all of a sudden we had the internet in our pocket. So for Web3, we believe the same thing, and that is that Web3 has its hardware moment coming in this next year in 2023, and we're going to talk about why we believe that and what that looks like, and going to talk about three specific projects that are either launched or close to launching, which are really focused on mobile hardware for Web3. So let's jump in. So if you've been in Web3 for a while, you've obviously heard us talk about mainstream adoption. We talk about it all the time. What's going to get us to mainstream adoption? Sure, it's fun for all of us Web3 people to sit around and talk about the tech and all the exciting things that are happening in Web3, but what's the point if we don't get billions of people onto the tech, on chain, into using this technology? And what's going to actually achieve this mainstream adoption? Well, some say it's the UX, others blame it on scams, and it's certainly ironic that an immutable, transparent cryptographic technology is held back by security flaws, but it's true. And here at Web3 Academy, we believe that a combination of UX, security, and the complexity of the space is what's holding people back. So how can we improve these and eventually onboard the rest of the world into Web3? Well, we think it's going to come down to Web3 friendly mobile hardware. So today we're going to break this down. We're going to look at the current problems with hardware, how mobile hardware can support Web3 adoption, and developments that are happening in the space. So first, let's talk about the problems. The problems with mobile hardware in the age of accelerating innovation. So we're living in this age of exponential innovation, but innovations mostly come through software due to it being extremely scalable and relatively lower cost when compared to development of hardware. Also, much shorter time to develop software than it takes to develop hardware. Said in another way, hardware is both costly and difficult to develop, and its production relies on a long supply chain of chips and many physical parts from many producers around the world. This is also the main reason why we haven't seen AI tech only just become widely available, because we haven't had the necessary computing power to make it available for mainstream use. I saw a stat just the other day that ChatGPT is costing them $3 million a day. So there's an idea of just how much the hardware is taking in order to run the servers, in order to run the software for Chat GPT is millions of dollars. And so that gives you an idea of the hardware is difficult to develop. So now we've seen the proliferation of AI because it's suitable for Web 2 hardware, or at least we're starting to see the proliferation. But Web 3 and blockchain, however, they're not there yet. So we need to develop Web 3 hardware from the ground up because it's fundamentally different from what we currently have. And while we do have Web3 friendly technologies such as Ledger, the current UX isn't suitable for onboarding mainstream users, and it still relies heavily on Web2 technology. Plus, it is nowhere near as secure as it should be. However, we're starting to see adoption and a recognition for the need for secure, user-friendly Web3 hardware. When we say mobile hardware, it doesn't necessarily mean a typical mobile phone. We're referring to any device that can easily fit in your back pocket. But why is that important? Well, we believe that over the next few decades, everything will become digitized. We're talking about money. I mean, it basically already is, but the next level of crypto money on crypto rails and on chain. We're talking about identification documents. You won't need to carry around your ID anymore, your passport anymore. It'll just be on your wallet, your digital wallet. Event tickets, ownership documents, everything that is you own that we need to prove verifiable ownership of will be on chain, and it'll be connected to your crypto or Web3 wallet. Now, it's natural as a progression from the desktop in the early stage of the internet to the mobile phone that put the internet in everyone's pocket. And so that's when we saw Web 1 go from desktop, Web 2 to mobile, and Web 3, now we're going to see wallet. And where is this wallet going to exist? Well, we believe it needs to be stored on a blockchain of some form. Which blockchain is up for debate, but we need Web3 friendly mobile hardware that can speed up this transition. We need Web3 friendly wallets that enable us to interact with the blockchain in a secure and user-friendly way. Now, these might be on your phone, might be in the form of a crypto wallet like a Ledger. Only time will tell how that will play out. But here's what we know. The 4 ways that we need to work to improve this transition is we need to improve the user experience of Web3. We need to give owners a chance to flex their identity. We need to allow Web3 technology to be more scalable, and we need to improve security during Web3 interactions. And so how are we going to achieve these 4 things? Well, improve UX. Right now, Web3 is fragmented AF, to say the least. You've got hundreds of crypto wallets, and finding new protocols and dApps is very unintuitive. Good luck. You're basically on your own. Plus, once you do find them, you have to constantly sign in with your wallet anytime you'd like to access them. And you're often blind signing because nobody knows what those signatures mean because the UX is so poor right now. You're signing something that just gives you a bunch of characters and you're forced to just trust it. So instead, Web3 friendly mobile hardware will give you access to all your favorite Web3 applications all in one place. Now, in 2022, most people access the applications they use daily through their mobile phones. More and more people are engaging in e-commerce through mobile. People are spending most of their social media time on mobile. Roughly 55% of Americans even prefer banking through a mobile app, compared to 31% preferring to use a PC browser. So you can see the trends are heading in the way of mobile. And we know this for a while, but it's important to recognize this is the way in which we interact with the internet. And it makes sense because mobile apps are they're much more user-friendly than using the web, which you often use through your browser on your desktop. Now, on top of this, a mobile device can easily access identity and ownership documents so you can share them if need be. Just imagine pulling out your laptop at an airport to check in to prove your identity. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. And that's why Web3 friendly mobile devices will drive true adoption of this technology. I mean, just imagine the opposite scenario. In 5 years, maybe not even, you're going to be crossing a border. You're not going to pull out a physical copy of your passport. You're going to pull out your Web3 wallet, whatever device that's on, whether it's on a separate wallet or whether it's on your phone. You're going to use that as your passport. It'll be on that device because that's actually more verifiable than the physical passport, which can be easily created fraudulently and copied and whatnot. Next up, flex appeal. Ian Rogers, the chief experience officer at Ledger, put it perfectly in a recent interview with Carly Riley from Overpriced JPEGs. He said, when you buy an Apple phone, you're not buying a piece of hardware. You're buying into an ecosystem. You're buying an experience. And the complexity of the digital asset world is similar. Buying a piece of Ledger hardware isn't just a commodity. It's an experience that brings you a secure digital asset experience to your phone. Now, Ledger has arguably been the top company when it comes to crypto hardware wallets, but until now, their offerings have focused more on the actual utility, i.e. security, rather than creating an experience around the device. And that's why we're so excited about their upcoming release of the Ledger Stax. We'll get into more of that later. But if you know anything about humans, we know that we love to flex. Are Apple phones objectively better than Samsung's? Maybe. Depends who you ask, but in terms of their tech and their speed and their abilities, probably not. So why do they dominate smartphone sales in the US? Well, it comes down to the experience that Apple sells its audience: sophistication, innovation, and luxury. Now, if people begin to flex their Web3 mobile hardware, it could easily be the reason we see Web3 go mainstream. It all comes down to how seamless the device's UX is. Better UX equals happier customers, equals an opportunity to flex, equals onboard new people because people see that you're flexing with this new device that everybody else wants, equals an experience that's good for Web3 UX, which equals more flex devices. You get the idea. It's cyclical. Now, let's talk about scalability and distribution. I mentioned it already, but it begs repeating. We live in a mobile-first world. A staggering 92% of people use a mobile phone to access the internet. Most people do their online shopping through mobile rather than any other device. We spend most of our online time through mobile devices, and 60% of the world's web traffic comes from mobile devices, and that number is only growing every year. And that's a win for Web3 because if we can figure out Web3 mobile, we stand an extremely high chance of going mainstream. You can see it demonstrated in these statistics. Now, while they're a bit outdated, they still illustrate the extreme adoption rate of mobile hardware. So if we look at Apple's revenue by source in 2006, their revenue was $19 billion, and it was split between the iPod, Macs, and other accessories, with the iPod being 40%, Macs being 38%, and other being 22%. Now, fast forward to 2016, their revenue is $216 billion. And I realize the stat is a few years old, but the stat has not changed dramatically, is the breakdown of their revenue. 63% of Apple's revenue is from the iPhone. 63%, 11% from Mac, 11% from services, 10% from iPad, and 5% from other. Just gives you an idea of the power of mobile hardware, which has just grown substantially, exponentially in the past decade. So we've established that mobile devices are ubiquitous and increase the potential scale of Web3 acceptance. But mobile hardware is also an excellent way to distribute and find new applications. In fact, between 2019 and 2020 alone, there were over 250 million apps downloaded each day. And that number is only increasing. Every day, 250 million apps downloaded, some paid, some free. Well, why is that so easy? Why is that so important? Because the discoverability of these apps is what makes everybody download them. There's these amazing two incredible marketplaces. Mostly there's the App Store, which dominates the space. And then there's the Google Play Store, which dominates the Android side. So you've got these great marketplaces, which have incredible UX where you can go and read reviews and see top ratings and see what's trending and easily see prices and have a trusted source where you know you're downloading something that you can trust because it's been verified by this marketplace. These are very important factors in the growth of apps over the last decade and a half. And this is important because when we consider the discoverability of Web3 protocols and dApps right now, it's very difficult. There is no dApp store. You can't buy dApps on Apple right now. So once we flip the switch on that and we have a seamless UX to discover decentralized apps, oh my gosh, we go in gangbusters, folks. Next up, let's talk about better security. Now, you might be thinking, even if my whole life becomes digitized, I can still do everything I need through my laptop, right? Well, yes and no. The UX of completing crypto payments and interacting with different dApps currently requires you to use browser extensions. This creates obvious challenges and limitations for developers. Not to mention that it's much easier to prove your identity through face recognition on your phone. In the future, you'll be able to pay for your morning coffee with stablecoins from your phone, just like you currently do with Apple Pay. It'll be seamless, it'll take zero effort, and it'll cost the business less because they won't have to pay credit card transaction fees like they do now. The fees will be less. It's a win-win for everybody, and the transaction will be instant. They won't have to wait for the transaction. Thankfully, credit card transactions are pretty quick, but when you look at other forms of transactions that happen off crypto rails, oh my gosh, you're talking days, weeks sometimes for financial transactions to happen. That's tough if you're running a business, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Now, if crypto and Web3 truly eat the world like we think they will, most of your life will be on chain. Your money, your identity, your everything you own will be proved on chain. And if you want to use and share this information securely, it must be done through the right hardware, because if someone is able to hack your device, you could lose everything, which is a big reason why we have low adoption of Web3 right now. There's a fear. It reminds me of the early days of e-commerce. A lot of people, particularly older generations or the mass market, were not willing to make purchases online because of trust, mainly. They didn't trust the online retailers yet. They were afraid of getting scammed and losing their money. Well, does that sound familiar? Yeah, that's what most people think about crypto right now. But when we have hardware that your mom and your dad and your aunt and your uncle and your friends can all see, you pull it out, you make a payment at a bar to buy a round of beers, and you do so in crypto, they're going to go, oh my gosh, that was so easy. That was so simple. And you trust it and it's safe? Well, duh, light bulbs are going off all over the room, and we're going to have much more friendly conversations about crypto than we do right now. That is for shout. And so that's really the problem right now. If you want to use and share this information securely, we need the right hardware. And our current blend of Web 2 hardware, it just doesn't reach the necessary level of security to completely protect our on-chain activities. Blockchains are extremely secure, but unfortunately, the current midpoints, the connection points we use to access blockchain, are not. That's why we need Web3 first mobile hardware, and the good news is they are coming. Unlock Protocol is the NFT membership protocol for Web3. Content subscriptions, community access, event tickets are all forms of memberships, one of the most common business models for creators and entrepreneurs today. Building an NFT membership opens many new possibilities for your members. Everything from tailored multi-platform experiences to the ability to sell an unfinished subscription on secondary markets. These are things just not possible in Web 2. However, in order for this business model to work, creators need NFTs which are time-bound or have built-in recurring payments. Unlock Protocol does this for your NFTs. Better yet, with a few simple steps, you can create your own NFT contract without code. What WordPress has done for websites, Unlock Protocol is doing for membership NFTs. If you're an NFT creator, you can't rely on royalties as they are likely going to zero. You need recurring revenue. You need Unlock. At Web3 Academy, we believe NFT memberships are the future of business and community. And that's why we decided to build on Unlock. Learn more at unlock-protocol.com. What are the current developments in Web3 mobile hardware? Right now, there's a few options that are potential contenders for helping us go mainstream. Some are still in development, while others are close to distribution or have minimal blockchain integrations currently active. So, first up, the Solana Saga. This is Solana's mobile phone, and it's been hotly anticipated with an estimated shipping time of early 2023. We'll see how early it comes. We all know hardware is difficult to make. Now, this Web3 centric device promises the ability to run dApps and other decentralized applications natively on the phone without the need for a separate computer or device. It will also feature a hardware wallet for securely storing and managing cryptocurrency assets, a secure enclave for storing sensitive data, and a decentralized identity system. Tired of signing transactions in your browser wallet? Solana Saga will allow you to do it with a simple fingerprint. That's the type of UX we need for Web3 to go mainstream. Besides its Web3 integrations, the Solana Saga also packs some powerful hardware, which includes 12 gigabytes of RAM, a 50 megapixel camera, plenty of screen space for comfortable viewing, and the latest Snapdragon processor. Now, is the Solana Saga all of a sudden going to take over the phone market? No, clearly not, because most users are not looking for crypto wallets right now. This solves a problem for a small amount of the population. This solves a problem for the current 5 to 10 million active users in crypto and NFTs. Now that number is growing, and as that number grows, this is the type of phone which has a wallet, a native wallet built into it, which allows you to access your crypto assets securely, is exactly what we need. Next up, the Ledger Stax. The Ledger Stax announcement recently is exactly what actually sparked us to write this deep dive, and for good reason. Ledger has many years of experience in building impregnable hardware that keeps your assets safe at all times. But now they're turning their attention to the hardware's UX. Ledger Stax features a sleek palm-sized touchscreen that's the perfect replacement for your wallet when the world goes digital. Joking aside, Ledger puts security first, so much so that they've never had a security breach. That means any of the 500 plus tokens, if using the Ledger Live app, or 5,000 tokens if using a third-party wallet, are safe and sound at all times. Like Solana's Saga, Stax is designed to be a user-friendly interface for interacting with decentralized applications and Web3 technology. It includes a number of features that are designed to make it easy for you to manage your digital assets, including a wallet, marketplace, and tools for managing and tracking investments. However, the Ledger Stax does require you to connect it to a smartphone or computer through Bluetooth before you can use it. So you can see what's happening here is this question of, are we unbundling hardware? So what we've seen over the past several decades is the bundling of hardware, where now basically we have a phone that is also our computer, that also is our wallet. It stores our credit cards on it, which we can use to pay. So we have bundled a lot of things into one. But I think what we're going to see over the next decade is the unbundling, because I don't think that the major phone companies, Apple and Android, are going to be quick to become Web3 native. And for good reason. As I said before, the masses aren't looking for that. That's not a problem that the masses have yet. So what we're going to have is, for the next little while, we're going to have, I believe, separate crypto wallets, such as the Ledger Stax, which is where we carry all of our digital assets. And then we're also going to have our phone. Long term, most likely, those two things become bundled back together again, and we'll see who dominates when that happens. The third development is the Nothing phone. Now, on its own, the Nothing phone has been hyped up as one of the top developments in the smartphone space. In fact, Time even recognized the phone as one of the best inventions of 2022. But recent news about the phone's integration with Polygon is what caught our attention. There's been no official announcement about the extent of blockchain integrations with the Nothing Phone 1, but their website does mention native NFT gallery functionality, which is not a ton, to be honest, when we think about blockchain tech and what we want. But Polygon has also shared that it will enable features to others in this list, which are cryptographically secured ID verification, access to dApps and digital assets, and more. Now, when these features will arrive, we can't say, but we do know that everything Polygon touches turns to gold. Outside of that, the Nothing Phone 1 features an extremely unique design, promises a smooth user experience, and offers an open ecosystem for third-party development, a perfect fit for Web3. So right now, when we talk about Web3 mobile hardware, we're sort of stuck in the middle. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, Web3 natives are seeing the glaring issues with custodial wallets. These are wallets controlled by centralized entities such as FTX, Binance, Coinbase. We know that we can't trust these entities with their investments. But the UX these platforms provide is far superior to what we can currently achieve with mobile hardware. Now, I shouldn't say we can't trust these. FTX was obviously an unfortunate situation. However, I do believe that Coinbase, Binance, and others in the space are trustworthy. And recent research into their holdings and their collateralization have shown that they are well collateralized and legit in what they do. So after the post-implosion dust settles on FTX, many people will go back to centralized entities and the cycle will continue. On the other hand, we have people looking at crypto from the outside. And what do they see? Billions of dollars being siphoned out of Web3 through hacks and scams. Headlines talk about the most recent hacker scam, millions of dollars. We also have plenty of Web3 newbies getting wrecked because centralized entities are often the only way to onboard, or because blind signing through a browser extension wallet is just really not the greatest UX, right? Or clicking on links on your desktop that take you to phishing scams where that browser is also connected to your wallet allows you to have your assets stolen. So there's so many issues that are all really caused by the hardware. It's really confusing to interact with Web3. So even as a Web3 native, it can be difficult to understand what permissions or particular signature is giving and to who. Web3 mobile hardware has the potential to change that. It has the potential to make interacting with Web3 as seamless as checking your email, as seamless as interacting with online banking through your app. And when that happens, off to the moon we go. And let's be clear, this isn't 5 years away. This is very close. These products are already in market or coming to market in this year. We're on the tipping point, everybody. Get excited about 2023. We got a big year ahead, folks. I hope you're going to stick with us here at Web3 Academy all year. We got some exciting things coming at you this year, some big developments of how we are going to be keeping you on top of Web3. And that starts with Web3 Academy Pro, which is our new on-chain analysis business reports. These are going to be reports that we write based upon on-chain analysis. So this is our opportunity that we've never had before. When we think about business right now, when we want to look at business, when we want to assess the profitability of a business, the current movement of a business in terms of products, the engagement of users in a business, we got to wait till quarterly reports come out from public companies. And private companies, we can't even get that data. But now that we're on chain, that data is readily available to us if we are looking at any Web3 native company. And here at Web3 Academy, we're going to start to write some very deep dive reports focused on specific projects, answering the questions that we all want to know the answer to in order to develop the business models that we need to then teach the masses how to use Web3 as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a business. So if you haven't already signed up, go check it out in the show notes below. Web3 Academy Pro is launching very soon, and we've got a special offer right now for anybody who signs up in the next few weeks. So don't miss out on that. You can get in from the ground floor and you can save yourself some money, but also make sure you're on top of on-chain analysis, which is going to be huge over the next year. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Once again, Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful start to 2023 so far. Let's make it killer. Let's make it big. Let's fucking go.
Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.